Hello everybody, my name is Scatter. Welcome back to Divine Journey 2. Today on the docket we're going to get into a lot of extra utilities too, but first there's just a little thing I want to wrap up. It'll just take a second here. This is the Twilight key. All I had to do to make it was just some Constantan and then this Twilight rock, which if you remember I made to get into the Twilight Forest in the first place. I guess the point of this key is just to, it unlocks just owning the key. It can be used to craft the Lamp of Cinders, I see, right? So that was, it's one of like the dungeon items. So, you know, I'm just going to save it for no real reason whatsoever. I mean, maybe I'll want another Lamp of Cinders, but the important thing is that was the last quest in the Exploration 1 quest line, which was the Nether and Twilight Forest. So, yeah, even though, you know, we didn't use it, it's still worth it just to clear off the check there, which means for the first, really the first time, we can go ahead and grab the trophy here, Exploration 1, and boom. So that is a little bit more progress for the trophy room. So now, to the meat of the thing. I have been, like I said, making things in the resonator here. I crafted 2 more lava mills and put them in the nether, so I'm getting 22 when it's sunny. GP... Call it GP. Yeah, that's what it's called. So I've been making a bunch of stuff here. I'll just grab it. And so I got a bunch of this lunar reactive dust, more coming down the pipe there. And there is the quest for that. So that opens up a lot of stuff. But before I get to any of that, there's a couple things. So the different power mills, there is a quest for each of them. I think all of them except for the water mill are buffed. And the watermill is nerfed, and I'm not sure why that is. I know the watermill is usually, you can just like make a bunch of them, but you can just do that with the other ones, and like they're not really any harder to make than each other. But I'm going to go ahead and make them anyway. The extra GP will be nice, getting the quest done, of course, and then you get some GP for, some GP powder, that is, for making each of them. So they each take one of these redstone stars, which takes some red coal. That's what I'm missing here, just some redstone. I can grab a stack. So this should be 3. 1, 2, 3. And then you need that for other stuff as well. But yeah, for now, the lava mill. So we already have a bunch of those. So I'll avoid making another one of those. This is just some nether brick fences. And the recipes for these are mostly the same. I am going to have to clear up my inventory just a little bit more here. So there's a fire mill. There's a windmill, as soon as we make 2 of these windmill blades. Windmill, which I believe is just north to south blocks must be clear, which is cool. That's pretty easy to set up. If I made a bunch of these windmills, I could just set up a big checkerboard shaped wall of them. Not sure if that's going to be super necessary though. And this one just needs a couple of these redstone gears for the watermill. So then there should be those 3 quests, and I get an extra 12 GP, which is almost, honestly, just a complete refund on what I ended up using to make them, which is really, really nice. And then I just get some GP for free. So I do keep saying I'm going to find like a permanent spot for this at some point, and I promise that's true. But right now I am just going to stick them somewhere. I guess we got any clips going on here. Yeah. I'll stick them somewhere. I haven't harvested the ender pearls in a while. See? Okay, so that's fine. And my inventory's full, which is also fine. The wind, I think, can just kind of go anywhere. That's a dangerous thing to put in my offhand. The wind can go anywhere, right? As long as the north and south are clear. So if that goes there, is that even generating? Because it was 22 before, and now it's still 22. But I won't worry about it, I guess. Fire mill, place over fire. So then you just have to put like some netherrack down here. I mean, I guess it doesn't have to be netherrack, but it's nice if it is, of course. Then you don't have to worry about the fire going out or anything like that. Fire mill. There we go. So that's power generating 8. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, it does just straight up say no power used or generated here. And I'm not sure why that is, actually. Generates power from wind, north-south. Oh, north-south. I read north-south as up-down for some stupid reason. Okay, so that should just be If I place it and then I break this, it should work, right? There we go. So it's a little... Well, I don't know why it's draining. Maybe the more clear it is, the better it is. It is going back up now. I'll just leave it there and not worry about it. Now the only other thing is the water mill. So it gives GP for adjacent flowing water blocks. I know there's a few like efficient setups for this, but I can just do something like this, right? And then if I... So what is going to be the best way? Let me block this area off. And then, well, if I want these to all be flowing, then I can just block off adjacent corners, right? I don't know why I'm doing this with netherrack. Probably not a great idea, but now it's surrounded on all four sides with flowing water, and it's generating 4 GP. So the windmill, I guess, is just... It varies in how much power it generates. It's higher during rain. It's, I guess, lower during not rain, but it's just kind of random over time. So it's a bit of an extra boost. Probably not worth making too much of them when the fire mill is 8. You know, the funny thing about this stuff is, like, you know, when they're all the same kind of price cost to make, like resource-wise, and they are, why not just make the best one, right? Kind of not completely an understandable thing. So, but if anything, it just kind of means that we get to make the best of it. So that's it. So yeah, probably won't have to worry about GP for the moment, for another little while, which is good. So now I'm going to go for the building gadget, which is pretty exciting. This is something that I think is going to be really useful. I don't think quite as useful as the destruction gadget, which is still going to be a while away. The Enderium, I know, is a little bit annoying. Well, I mean, platinum, apparently it does spawn, but I'm going to have to go to the end before I get this coated clathrate, which is also not super far away. But the building gadget can definitely be built right now. I just need a couple of these, which I don't actually have any, of course. Okay, so I just need a couple of those. I did set up a couple excavators to get some more resources. I felt like I was running a little low on iron, so I have that, and I have some ore left over as well. Redstone is running a little low, and I foresee using a lot of that in the future, so I have, you know, 1465 ore there. Each one of those turns into 12, so that's like 16k redstone at least, right? So I'm not super worried about that. But as for the diamonds, let's just... So wait, I had some kind of system for this, didn't I? Logic. Yeah, so the diamonds must be in this one. So I need 2. I'll make 8 because these are pretty useful for something. Also, so I did this between episodes. Maybe I should have left it. But I was having problems with this clogging up. And I think what was going on is the drawer controller, for some reason, is slow at requesting items or like making itself available for more than one item at a time. So all I did, I have this chest here that I can just deposit into, and it has an import bus that'll pull into the system. And as a reminder, it pulls into the drawers with priority, and then to the ME drives. And I just have whatever items I process from the basement here. They can also go into this chest. So they can go to the chest, which then gets pulled into the drawers, or they still can go directly to the drawer controller over here. And it doesn't really make it too much of a difference which one it goes to, but this is pretty much always accepts items. I'm not seeing that issue, and as a bonus it accepts things that the drawers won't, like, you know, pretty much anything that I could dream of making here, they'll just get pulled into the ME system. So that's a little upgrade there. Not, you know, vital, but it's an upgrade. And just to make sure that this processor thing is working, and it's not because this doesn't have redstone, right? I actually remember taking all the redstone out of here because I figured it must have accidentally fallen in or something. I just totally forgot how this actually works. So that's my bad, but we'll get those processors through. I believe I'm also going to need a charging station from Immersive to charge the building gadget. I think there's a similar item in a couple different mods, but I know there's one in Immersive, and I'm pretty sure it works, and, you know, it's a quest, so might as well just make it anyway, and it's really easy to make. So I should have most, if all of this stuff. I just need to make some light gray glass. Probably need to make another one of these. Let's see, LV. Yeah, I don't have any of that, just the insulated stuff. So I just need copper. I don't need a bunch of copper wires for this. I forget exactly how many, but I will make as many as possible. Well, no, sorry, I don't know where that came from. I'll make a lot. And those are still not in the system. Are they really that slow to go up the pipe? I guess if they came all the way over to the drawer controller, then I guess that's what's going on there. Well, in any case, let's just do something else while we're waiting for all that to process. So the transfer pipes are a pretty big thing, right? So the transfer pipes are going to be a better system than the item ducts. I'm not sure how fast things move around. I don't know if it's like faster on, longer distances, or if longer distances take longer because there's an actual travel time, or if it's just kind of, optimized. So I'll make 48 of those. I'm not going to go nuts with it because, what I have set up for the item ducts is fine for now. I just want to use this going forward. And if I see issues, I'll, pull out parts of the system and replace it. But for now, I think it's fine. And then I'll make a couple of these transfer nodes. I don't want to use up too much of the stone burnt because it does use the GP powder, so I don't want to use too much of it. Diamonds are still a little bit of a precious resource. I have an excavator set up now mining coal, which if that mines the entire vein, it'll get about 500 diamond ore, which is good, but that's also going to give me like 30,000 coal ore, which I don't really want to have to store, so I probably won't leave that running until it runs dry, but it'll at least be something. So processor, so I got a bunch of those now. 2, and now I should be able to make the building gadgets. The other thing it needs is the ultimate control circuits. This is one of the uses for the lunar reactive dust, which we made in the resonator. So there's the 2 that we're going to need for that. And there's the building gadget, which is crazy exciting. Like I said, I keep saying, we're gonna rebuild. I'm getting ideas. I'm getting designs in my head for how we're gonna kind of restructure everything here. I've been getting inspiration, but we're not quite ready to do it yet. But do not despair. It is coming. Trust me. But let's focus on the present. So there's that, right? So the other thing that we are going to want to do is we're going to work towards some extra utilities machines. So the Enchanter, I think, is the first one that it actually has you make. But they're all made with these machine blocks, which is just stone burnt, some steel casing, which is pretty easy to make, and atomic alloy, which is just these alloys just infused with pretty much everything, right? So I have a bunch of those, and I believe I can just make one of these right off the bat. Yeah, I just have enough for one. I'm missing the stone burnt for another one, which is a shame. But I can make some more polished stone, right? I am going to need a lot of this stuff. So I guess my main issue is I don't want to use up all of my GP powder, right? The stone, the frozen stone from Icica, being able to just mine it and it acts as stone is actually really nice. And I'm definitely going to end up back at Icica to get like stacks on stacks of this in like 0 time at all. But yeah, having the polished stone to just do that is really nice. So let's make... Oh, I had to turn it into stone burnt, of course, right? So yeah, this is going to be another processing thing that we're going to wait on. And I'll just do all of it. I still have a stack of GP powder left over. It's 1 GP powder per 4 polished stone. And then it's 1-to-1 into stone burnt. So not too bad. Now, here's a thing that I'm a little afraid of. I have played with it before, but Extra Utilities has a mechanic called unstable ingots. So this is how you make these moonstone things, right? Also with mystical agriculture, but for now this is how we're going to make them. So it's 8 lunar reactive dust, which to confirm, I do have plenty. And it's an unstable ingot, right? So the way that you make this is you can make in other mod packs. You can make the nuggets still. Okay, so basically, right? So you can make the nuggets, and those are stable. And then you can put them together and it's stable and that works fine. But then each nugget is a whole powder and a whole diamond. If you skip that, you can just use 1 powder and 1 diamond per ingot, but then it explodes after 10 seconds and then you can't close the crafting window, which is annoying. And I imagine it's difficult to impossible to automate. I've never actually tried, but luckily we won't need too many of them right now. Pretty much the only thing they're used for is to make this moonstone, right? If not the only thing. So it's not going to be too bad because we can just, as long as we stay in the crafting window and we work quick, it shouldn't be an issue. So 1 powder, 1 diamond, 1 iron. There we go. 10, 9, 8, 7. Okay, not an issue, but it's very stressful regardless. So there's the moonstone, and that's used for a bunch of stuff, right? I know this ethereal glass. It's basically like, I believe players can walk through it and mobs can't, so it makes it a nice door. So I might make a little bit of that. Ineffable glass, I think, is the opposite. It ends up being useful for like mob farms and stuff. Dark ineffable glass, the same thing, just it doesn't let light pass through. I'm not entirely sure about that. This thermal conductor rod, I know, is like a pretty big goal in this section of the quest line. What is it used for? An infusion. Moonstone seeds. Well, that's appropriate. And then infusion. So they're really not used for too much, but there's a little bit of utility stuff. And then this has 800 uses, so we're probably just going to make 1 for the time being. And then sun crystals. It's going to be... I don't know how you actually fill this without mystical agriculture. Maybe we don't. Maybe this is the only way to fill it, and we actually have to get into mystical agriculture shortly. But yeah, so this enchanter is going to be what we need now. And unlike the resonator, the enchanter does just use RF power, right? Or, you know, I believe it does. I guess it's telling me grid power because it's in the mod, but I believe it just uses this power, right? RF, there you go. Yeah, so I guess, I don't know if you would call that a bug or just an incidental feature, but yeah, it's used to make a bunch of cool stuff. And you can actually use it to enchant things, right? But mainly it's used for some crafting recipes or crafting items, right? So gold and lapis make enchanted metal, and then you can make evil infused ingots, which are used for a few things, right? Later on, mostly. And then I believe, well, the JEI is bugged out a little bit, but this is how you make magical wood. I think it's called magical wood, right? Magical wood, yeah. So this is how you make that. Like I said, it's bugged out a little bit, but that's a bookshelf and lapis. I might do it on books. Pretty good, pretty good. And wood. Now, the one thing I know about this enchanter is that it's pretty buggy when it comes to taking in and pulling out items. So my suggestion is whenever you want to use it, just put in exactly the ingredients to make how many of the things you want to make. And, whoa. Wait, is that how you make bookshelves? I didn't know that was a thing that you could do. Okay, so I'll get 10 for now. I think the magical wood is pretty generally useful for some stuff. Oh yeah, we're gonna need tons of this eventually, so I'll just make a bunch and then grab some lapis. And so like I said, because I have 10, I'm just gonna put in 10, and I'm being very deliberate about it. Because it does, now this might be just an older version thing, but I know it does get a little glitchy. I mean, even now. Oh, you need to put it by actual bookshelves. I didn't realize that. Does it just need the one, maybe? Or does it need a full set? Let me try this out, because I definitely don't remember having a full set there. Oh, it literally just does say a full set. Okay. Let me pick this back up then. I will use Silk Touch so I don't lose it. And, right, so, yeah, I guess I'd rather move it over there and run a little bit of wiring than have to move all the bookshelves somewhere where there's currently wiring. So let me do that. Yeah, I'll just run some wiring over here. It's already right here, so it shouldn't be too bad, right? I'll just do that quickly and then be right back. All right, so I had to make a few extra wires, which is fine, but we got this running over. And there we go. Now this should work, right? Yeah, there we go. So the X isn't there anymore. And now I can throw those in and 1, 2, those in. So now this should make magical wood. I can just leave that running for a little bit, and that should be fine. So we got the Enchanter set up, which is cool. The enchantment table, you know, I'm not too worried about. I'm not doing much with vanilla enchantments at the moment. By the time I am, I can probably very easily just make another setup with the bookshelves. Probably would be the best option rather than switching this out again, but we'll see when the time comes. So by now, I should have enough copper wires. I believe I need... No, I think I just need a half stack, right? I was going to say a full stack, but I think I just need a half stack. So it should be these, and then I'll need 8, right? Yeah. 8. And 1 iron ingot to put them around. Okay. And that was for the charging station, which all that needs is a couple treated wood. The light gray, right? So light gray dye, I have 1, which works out. Glass. Wait. Light gray glass shard. Okay, well that works as well. So I only have 9. Oh, I do actually just need 1 more, don't I? Yep, okay. Well, we almost had it. Okay. Just 1 set of these using the light gray dye that I have. Light gray glass. So what else am I missing here? Right, all the stuff basically. Okay, so MV connector, I have 2. I can put these upgrade bases away for now. That's for the transfer nodes mainly, and we'll get into that soon. So that's MV. I think I need 1 steel. No, I need 2, and then 2 treated planks. I did about as much as I could in terms of prep today, but you know, the inventory is only so big. I mean, I could have done more. I'm not gonna make excuses or anything, but there's the charging station, and if I'm correct, which I hope I am, the building gadget will charge up in there, and it looks like it is. This is draining, so that's very good. Because I'm using the excavator, this thing is drained. And I did actually turn on the diesel generator for a bit, just because there was some diesel left in the pipes. Like, I'm not draining the diesel that I have here in this tank, because I'd rather just save that, now that I have such a big power buffer. But right now the buffer is not full, so the excavator is running a little bit slow, but we're okay with that. So this has currently 91,000 RF in it out of 20 million. So it basically didn't fill up at all in the time that I put it there. I could just leave it in there to charge. I don't want to use it right this second anyway. So I'm okay with that for right now. What else do we have on the docket? I think there's a little bit more. So there's 20 low voltage coils, which I'm not sure how useful they're going to be. If I do need to make the coil blocks, they're going to be useful for sure. And then what now? Okay, so there's a lot of stuff open to us. So the lunar panel is basically just like the solar panel, except it's for nighttime, right? Now, as I was kind of alluding to before, I really don't know why you would want to make these when you can just make the mills, and they're just way better and way cheaper, frankly, as well. So it's just a weird decision to me to have you make those, but I don't know. Who am I to do it? If I don't want to make it, then I don't have to make it. And then that'll just be that, I guess. So I'm going to need 3 of those. So I need 1 more of those, and I need some of those to make this circuit. And energetic silver, I think, makes... Am I being crazy? No, I'm not. Okay, so just 1 more of those. And then... So that needs to be the lunar and the better alloy, right? Okay. Which I have on me already. 3 of those. And the lunar panel. It's polished stone. You know, polished stone, it takes a fair amount of resources. Like the diamond is the biggest thing that hurts for the powder, but it's like 1 diamond per 4 of them, so it doesn't really matter too much, does it? I'll just plonk that down right next to the solar panel, and then they can just kind of support each other when they're down, which is kind of sweet if you ask me. All right, so that's the lunar panel. I'll go for the 4 diamonds easily here because glowstone dust is pretty easy to come by. And speaking of the quests, all right, what do we have here? This looks important. So this is the Enchanter, which we talked about and built already. The Enchanter deletes items. Oh, it's when inserted via scrolling. That's what it is. Okay, yeah. So that's what I usually do. I'll just make sure not to do it. I'll probably end up tripping up and accidentally doing it, but hopefully we're not putting anything too valuable in there. And then don't break it with a pickaxe that has direct on it as it crashes the server. Great. Okay, well, I don't have anything with direct on it, I believe, but thank God for that. I'll go for osmium, I guess. Both of these are like, I have more than I know what to do with. Those are nice to have. Those are really nice to have, actually. Some more lunar dust is great. And then some more oscillate glass is also great. So I just dropped that, I think. I can't hold it in my inventory. But I can just throw some stuff in here. Such as this, and this, and this. I saw some other stuff that I don't directly need right now, but... yeah, so... I can go grab the magical wood out of here. So there's 4. Still got 6 on the way. But that's the quest done. And I just got some books back, which is cool. They can go right into there. One of my iron golems has died also, so that's a little bit of a book source gone. But iron golems are really cheap to make, so if I really need books, it's probably just best to make a bunch of iron golems. I do need to automate farming sometime very soon, now that I can make the vacuum hopper. That's a lot more feasible. So I can do that. But yeah, not this minute right now. So the sun crystal... Throw it on the ground to fill it up with sunlight. Okay, so cool. So you don't actually need mystical agriculture to fill it. It gets exposed to the sun. Okay. And then, so some of these enchanted ingots, which are just gold and lapis, I need to make once the magical wood finishes up. And then this, of course, leads to the thermal conductor rod, which is used for RF powder. And RF powder I've seen in a bunch of recipes around, mainly the mana dust, which leads to a bunch of stuff. Again, mainly the thing I've seen it in, I think, is the red heart canister. But you also make mithril out of it. But speaking of which, the demon lord ingot is something that we're going to want to make right now, I think. So the nether bricks on all 4 sides, and you throw gold into lava, and you get the demon ingot. Okay, so I think I have nether bricks. Nether bricks. I mean, I have these close enough. Okay. And I don't think I have anything with lava here, but I have a bucket and I have a smeltery, which is going to work just as well. I could put those away. And I'm pretty sure I have a full bucket here. I haven't really used this for too much. And where do I want to put this? Well, I don't think it really matters too much. I could put it right there, but I'm there a lot of the time, so I don't really want to. How about... You know what? I am going to put it up there. I'm not going to fall into this, and if I do, I deserve it, frankly. So instead of the cobble here, which I believe was for something to do with roots, it was so long ago, I definitely forget, we are going to put the nether brick, nether brick, and lava right in the middle. And then you just throw gold in. I assume it instantly transforms, or else it would just get destroyed. So I'll just do a whole stack. You know, I have a few thousand gold. Not too worried about doing this. There we go. Okay, that was a lot of particle effects. Very cool. So there's the lava ingots. And then to turn those into demon lord ingots, it is just the lunar reactive dust. So I'll make a few of these. I know the lunar reactive dust is something that I'm going to have to make a lot of, which means I need to make a lot of oscillate glass. Oscillate glass. Yeah, I'm really running low on this. So... I guess I'll do 8 for now. I'll do 8 for now. Oh, those take a lot of power, so they can go fast, is what that's telling me, if you have enough power for it. No, wait, 384 RF per tick. I guess it's just draining because there's no buffer, which makes sense. It is fine. But yeah, so there's our first couple demon lord ingots. which is super exciting. How many does the quest want? More, apparently. Oh, just three of each. So the demon ingots and the demon lord ingots. There's a bug. Certain modded droppers cannot create them. Vanilla or open blocks dropper. Okay, got it. Not going to be automating these just yet, but I will keep that in mind, or at least try to. How's this doing? It's charged up a very tiny amount. All right, so yeah, demon lord ingots, and then as discussed before, those lead to open ingots, which are used in tons of useful stuff, like the vacuum hopper is probably the best example of something I'm going to want to use pretty soon. The item dropper, which we just talked about, not sure how that is better than a regular dropper, but when the time comes, I can look into it. The fan, I think, is a pretty neat logistical thing. XP bottler might be cool. Village highlighter, like the open blocks is just a bunch of cool stuff, I think. I'm a big fan of stuff like that. And we get the book for that one as well. So let's go ahead and claim the reward here. Gold or lapis. I'll go for the lapis. And there you go. Well, that's a lot of progress made here. So that's also how you make mob grindium, right? So that's for mob grinding utils. And I know that's an incredibly useful mod for mob farms. And that's probably something I'm going to want to look into sooner rather than later. At least as soon as I want any kind of mob drop as an automatable item. Absorption hopper. I wonder why that's better than a vacuum hopper. I don't really know. I'll have to check it out. Well, there's no reason not to make this because this crafts into this. So if this ends up being better, then that's fine. But yeah, tons of progress made today into open blocks. Not to mention the trophy that we did. Look, we got these spikes too, which are super useful for mob farms, right? Take some stone burnt, that's all. Magical wood. But yeah, I'll just get a couple enchanted ingots cooking up just before we sign off here. So I got the lapis out already. I'll make a stack of them because gold and lapis are both pretty easy to come by. And remember, no scrolling. Just wait for this to finish up here. I really do have to remember no scrolling. I assume you can shift click, but I'm not even going to do that. It's not worth the risk, I think. But yeah, just in the meantime, let's just talk a little bit. So the building gadget is going to be really useful for building stuff. The destruction gadget would be nice to like level a big part of the mountains like to the south here, which I think is where I'm going to end up setting up mostly long term. But I mean, I can do that realistically without the destruction gadget. It just makes it a lot more convenient. And if I'm doing it between episodes anyway, you know, I don't really need the destruction gadget. You know, it'll be a lot harder for me, but that's totally fine, right? Like I can handle it, I think. But oh wait, why didn't I ever? Oh, you need to make the other transfer nodes. Is this one? Osglow Lapis. Yeah, I'm going to have to make some of that. Okay, well, I didn't even notice we didn't have that. We'll finish up this quest, even though the energy transfer node, not sure if I'm ever going to use. Cannot be upgraded always. 5,000 RF per tick. And then this is the cable. That actually might be worth it. We'll have a look. We'll have a look. Much better than Thermal's item ducts when fully upgraded. And then the fluid one. The fluid one is going to be really nice, I think, whenever we need to pipe some fluid around. But yeah, so next time we'll finish up this quest. My apologies for not noticing that it wasn't finishing up this time. But yeah, we'll get our first few enchanted ingots here. And I don't think there's too much. You know what? I'll make the damn sun crystal. How about that? You weren't expecting that. That can go away. A single diamond, which I already have on me. And that's not going to be able to... Oh, it did. Wow, all kinds of surprises today. And there is the sun crystal. Power the sun. Okay, so Not sure how long this takes to charge up, but we get a few more enchanted ingots. Just says a while. So we are going to want to automate this. Of course, it's nighttime right now. Let's just see how long it takes. I imagine it takes a while, but I guess really a while is like 5 minutes, right? It's not going to take an hour, because that would be insane. But I guess items also despawn. Maybe it just takes like a second. Why is this on fire? Oh, the lava. And that's not good either. Okay, so maybe this is the only flammable thing around, right? I don't know if that's wood or what, but everything should be fine now. There's nothing else that's going to catch on fire here. How much progress? 0 progress. So I guess maybe that just like transforms and that's not how the progress works on that. Maybe. Maybe I'm coping. Maybe I'm seething. Not really sure. I want to take care of these guys. Yeah, one of the first things I want to do when I... Oh, no. Okay, well, at least I had the chunk claimed. Can't believe I'm so bad at doing that now. One of the first things I want to do once I get the vacuum hopper and stuff is automate a farm. And, you know, at this point, I'm not using SkySoarer really often enough for it to matter, but I know there's some stuff that we should automate. Like, there's... like, automating diesel would be cool. Maybe I make another one of these and just fill it up with more diesel than I know what to do with. Because these tanks are, like, relatively cheap to make, right? Like, this one's full of creosote. Never, ever going to use it, but it's better to have it and not need it, right? So, could do that at some point. Fill it up with the biodiesel. And we're getting into refined fuel soon-ish. Very soon-ish. Like, it's in the thermal chapter, which we're not technically in yet. I also still have no idea what actually triggers the end quest. This It Never Blinks quest. I really have no idea. I assume it's something like pretty soon, right? It'll swallow your soul. Yeah, I don't know. Because, like, I don't... What do you need? Well, okay, how about this then? What do you need to make an Eye of Ender? Okay, well, probably not that. An induction smelter. Or that. Or an alloy smelter. But the induction smelter is going to be the first thing we need, right? So if we look here, where... Oh, Eye of Ender, it never blinked. Okay, so yeah, we're going to need to get into thermal a bit before we go to the nether. No, the end. I'm all over the place. Okay, I think it's time to end. I'll just leave this here, and we'll see. Wait, by the time you come back, I'll have a full one. How about that? Maybe this doesn't even count as the sun because it's, you know what? That's definitely what's happening. Stand by. Okay, so I just threw it down somewhere that is not blocked on the top, which I feel a little bit stupid for, but not entirely. And you can see that it is filling. It takes no time at all. I was just a little stupid. So that looks done to me. And it is. So there's the full sun crystal. How about that? So next time, am I going to make one of these next time? I could just make one of these now. Oh, this needs to end. Okay, you know what? No, next time we move towards the powder. I don't know, because if you need this as well, then we may not get to it quite in time. But yeah, next time, more extra utilities too. I don't know if we're going to get far enough to really technically start with thermal yet. But if that happens, then that'll be exciting. But I don't think it will. No promises, at least. But in any case, if you made it this far, thank you very much for watching. And I hope to see you on the next one. Bye.